Hi, hello. Dr. Frankie here, and hoping you're all doing really well. Thanks to you, amazing supporters, subscribers. I can't even believe the number of subscribers I have to this YouTube channel. So I appreciate. It makes me really happy. I appreciate you all for supporting me. And please let me know if there are topics that you're wanting to hear more about. You want to maybe suggest a topic that I haven't yet covered. I would love to hear from you. I try to think of all the things I possibly can that come up in my work with my clients. And also things that maybe don't often come up in my work, but have I think about it. And so I put it out there. I research it and then put it out there to you all. And as always, at the forefront of my mind is how can I give you tools and skills that you can add to your toolkit that'll help with any of your interpersonal relationships day to day. And so I'm glad to know it's helpful. Today, I'm going to talk about addressing trust issues in relationships. And I don't know about you, but I definitely, from time to time, struggle with trust issues. Certainly, as I've actively worked on really building my sense of, like safety and trust and um, willing to take more risk when because I trust myself. It's gotten better over the years, but I have had to actively work on it. So I think this is a topic that will hopefully resonate to many and get you thinking about how you can improve your ability to trust. So I'm just going to jump in. Addressing trust issues in relationship. Trust is the building block of a long-term serious relationship. It's no wonder that trust issues are one of the most difficult things to move through when they crop up. Is there any way to actually heal trust issues so you aren't just white knuckling through them? Today, I'm going to recommend some things that hopefully you'll find helpful. Are your trust issues in your relationship or do they come from elsewhere? When we talk about trust issues, we could be talking about any range of things. The fear that our partner is cheating on us, for example, that's a really common one. That they're lying in general, that they don't love us, or not as much as they say that they do, or as much as we love them, that they're going to leave us, that they're drinking or using again. The list can go on and on. In all of these instances, a problem with trust could be based on something that's actually happened in your relationship or past behavior from your partner. They've cheated before, they've relapsed before, they've lied about something major. It could be based on something your partner hasn't done, but previous partners have. You've been cheated on several times by toxic exes, and now you find it difficult to trust that anyone new won't also cheat on you. In some cases, trust issues based on past relationships or even your childhood or developmental experiences can evolve into a kind of permanent baseline issue with trust that looks a lot like intense, unmitigated anxious attachment. This issue with trust that looks a lot like intense, unmitigated anxious attachment, it's really important actually first to identify it, right? Really get quiet and think about, well, where is this stemming from? Is this something that kind of is old stuff? You want to make that distinction because if the basis of your trust issues are coming from inside the house rather than your external relationship, then no amount of work on your external relationship will make a dent in them. Anxious attachment, endemic trust issues, or other mental health concerns relating to relationships can look like anxiety or distrust that spikes when you undergo stress or difficulty, not your partner's behavior. You have trouble explaining to your partner what they could do differently for you, trust them more. You compulsively ask for reassurance about your concerns from your partner, as often as daily or multiple times a day, even. You experience similar patterns in other relationships in other parts of your life, like frequent concerns you're going to be fired or that your friends are talking about you negatively. If these patterns sound familiar, it may be helpful to seek out support in the form of individual therapy or counseling. A qualified professional can help work with you to assuage some of your baseline fears, as well as work on issues in your current relationship. What not to do about trust issues. When working with less than perfect trust in a relationship, there are some avenues that might feel instinctively obvious. Often it feels like a lack of trust is based in a lack of information, and more information will mean that you feel more trust. And in a digital age, there is almost always more information we can somehow have about our partners. It may feel tempting to ask your partner to increase your access to information about their life, giving you their phone password, letting you read their text messages, turning on their location at all times, sharing access to their social media accounts. These aren't inherently bad things. There are times when it makes sense to know someone's location or check something on their phone for them, but it's not a solution to problems with trust in your relationship. In a relationship with a partner struggling with substances, this could look like monitoring the amount of alcohol in the house, checking their breath or their bank account, searching the apartment for hiding places, things like that. Unless the core dynamics that are eroding trust in your relationship are addressed, digital monitoring of your partner may only move goalposts. If you've been reading your partner's texts for months but still don't feel confident that they're faithful, it's not hard to begin wondering if they're using some other communication platform or cheating with someone at work, on Teams, and on and on. Even worse, dynamics of surveillance and monitoring can very easily turn into a relationship dynamic that's controlling and invasive, becoming toxic or even abusive. And in addition to these risks, there's the fact that monitoring can't actually fix trust issues. Only restoring trust can. If our relationship is only working, such as it is, on the basis of constant surveillance, it's not a sustainable relationship to be in. Just even hearing that, like, let that land, right? If our relationship is only working, such as it is, on the basis of constant surveillance, it's not a sustainable relationship to be in. Whew, something to consider for sure. Rebuilding trust over time. So, what does restoring trust actually look like? In any relationship, trust grows out of consistent, reliable follow through over time. It will help if you and your partner can identify the areas where you struggle to trust and what reliability and consistency in those areas would look like, maybe with the support of a couples therapist. What does your ideal partner look like? One you feel confident you can trust. What would work as green flags for reliability and security? Maybe it's more consistent and proactive communication. Maybe it's quiet and consistent actions that reaffirm your place of importance in your partner's life. Work with your partner to discuss what actions will communicate trustworthiness to you, and watch what happens in your relationship over time as they commit to this project. It may not be immediate, and it often isn't immediate, but you may observe that your sense of vigilance begins to shift and relax, but you want to give it time. For this to work, both you and your partner must approach restoring trust in good faith. This means your partner must work to regain trust with patience and without resentment. It also means that you must commit to being open to trusting them. If you maintain an attitude of skepticism or accusation toward your partner indefinitely, regardless of their actions, it will introduce even more resentment into your relationship, which is the opposite of what you want. An inability to let go of distrust or negative assumptions about your partner, even when their behavior indicates otherwise over a long and consistent time period, may mean you're bringing in past resentments or attachment issues, as I mentioned earlier. If your partner has violated your trust or cheated before, and you find yourself unable to let go of anger about this, even though you've agreed to try again and you concur that they've changed their behavior, it may mean you still have work to do around truly repairing after harm or conflict. I think all of us that are listening, right, can relate to being betrayed on some level, lied to in our lifetime, right? So it's definitely something that we should be actively checking in with ourselves about and working on, because you can't really be in a healthy relationship if you can't trust somebody. So it's an ongoing process, and I want to encourage you to really self reflect and be honest with yourself, because, as I said before, we can be the best liars to ourselves, which isn't really helping in our growth process. So check in, do the work, and I'm going to see you all next week for sure. And for those of you that are new to my channel, subscribe, please. I'd love to see you here again. I'd love to hear from you. Any reactions, any comments, feedback, give it to me. See y'all next week. Kisses, hugs. Take care, everyone.